the Latina Moms Building Wealth interview series. Today, I have a really important guest. But before we start with our guest, I just wanted to let you know that today is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be taken as advice. So today with me, I have Fernanda Guardado. And Fernanda is a design consultant with MFG Design. Fernanda, welcome.
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing well. I'm super excited to have you here because we have a lot of business owners and then women who want to learn how to start a business and just people that want to really take control of their money. And I know you can help them. So, Fernanda, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what is it that you do?
Okay. Well, my name is Fernanda Guardado. I'm been working as a freelancer for the past 12 years. My background is in graphic design with a minor in marketing. I graduated from Columbia College, and I've been in the design business for the past 20 years. I started basically doing environmental signage, and as the time went on, I realized that there was a necessity for business owners to create their own identity, especially small business owners. So I started working with the first was Mexican restaurants, and that was one of my goals when I graduated. That I noticed that there was a need from the Mexican community to really empower themselves and really level up. And with other American restaurants, they had a logo and branding and marketing. And I know we had a great, amazing food because I'm Mexican, but I also wanted to elevate their business and kind of like a part of what our food and also the quality. And so another business can come join us. So that's how I started working with small owners, almost business owners, but now it's more like entrepreneurs. As the pandemic grew, now I'm helping more doing branding, website, social media, and anything that and really a business needs to launch themselves and you do all the marketing for them. So I'm there for them.
Yeah, so full disclosure, Fernanda did create my branding and website. And you just said something that was really critical. You said represent them. And I know that as I was looking for someone to help me, that was really important to know that, hey, whoever was creating my website, my logo, you are a representative of me, right? And so how do you do it to kind of represent the client? What are some things that you do? For example, that you did for my stuff?
And that's a really good question. Is that something that I think that's some of the main thing that I do with a client is meeting person. That's the first thing that I always ask to meet. Even though they're not ready to hire me, I really get to know them, to really understand what their vision is, because ultimately I'm going to be speaking for them graphically online. I'm going to create that online presence. So I really want them, I want to understand what their goals are, if they were aligned, what kind of, even when I'm talking to them, I'm already like figuring out what kind of shapes, the colors, the branding, the fonts, and all that stuff, because ultimately everything is online right now. So whatever they see on your website, on social media, that's going to get the image that they're going to represent themselves. So if they want to envision like Michelle is really powerful, but at the same time she's Latina, she's a mom, she's nurturing, but she's focused, she's a leader, she really empowers other women. So I wanted to create that balance, especially for your brand. And I wanted people to really get to know you even without looking at you. When they go to their website, they know you're friendly, you're there for them, and you really empower us to like get the best of ourselves. So I think that was one of the biggest focus. I really get to know the person first, and then I can speak for them, and I can represent them graphically and their logos and everything, all the online communications basically.
Yeah, and you know what? As somebody who has worked with you, I think you do a great job. You've done a phenomenal job at representing me, and me feeling like when I look at the website, like, yeah, that's me. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the look, that's the feel that I want women to feel. I want them to feel the the powerhouse, but I also want them to feel the mother, right? So, which is why I
Mhm.
have that picture of my family, and
Mhm.
that relates to women that, hey, I understand the struggles. I know what motherhood is. I know how nutty it can be, right? So I think you did a phenomenal job, and you do, because when I looked at your work previously of getting to know that client and really creating the branding that represents us. Something that I think as I meet business owners and as I coach business owners, because I also do business coaching, is that's the first thing I ask them. Hey, what is your website, or do you have a link? How can people connect with you? And sometimes they're like, oh, I haven't created that, or I don't have that. Like, people are losing money, right? You're losing
Totally. Mhm.
clients, you're losing traffic by
Mhm.
not having that. What do you tell that client that says, "Oh, I don't have a website, I don't have a page"?
Uh, That's the first thing that I tell them. It's like when you launch your business, it's like having open a sign, like a brick and mortar, and there's no sign outside. You don't know that exists. I mean, it's there, you're there, but unless people that really get to know, walking by, they're gonna be walking down 1,000 times, but you don't have a sign, you don't have like something physical online to show you you're not there. People are gonna be googling all the time your services, like coaching services, and even a repair shop, a restaurant, and all that stuff. If you're not online, people are not gonna find you. So that's I think that even having a landing page, that's crucial. Just one thing. You don't have to expand like the content, beautiful photographs. I mean, you don't have to wait to have everything to really launch a site. You can just have a domain and just a landing page with your name, what I do, and contact me, an email. That's all you need. And that's how really I start to work with a lot of clients because they're not there yet, they don't have the budget, but they want just to get themselves out there. That's the first thing. Just get a website, just something simple. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything, but at least because that's also a way to push you to keep adding to it. You don't have to
Yeah.
launch all the 10 pages. Start with one and just keep adding up as your business grows too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
and I think that's important that you just said that, right? Like, hey, just start somewhere and then continue to grow. Like I
mhm,
reached out to you last week. I needed this, and this, right? Like as my business grows, as I start to see the needs of my clients, right? Then
exactly.
I have to pivot. And in
Mm-hmm.
that pivoting, that's pivoting everywhere, not just my services, right? And so I think that that's great that you mentioned that, like, hey, start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
As you use the word budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a to-do list for women who want to start their businesses, who are like, hey, Michelle, I want to start my business. And in that, I also have a budget, right? And in the budget is social media. In the budget is hiring somebody to do your website, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I always tell people, what can you do? I'm not tech savvy, and it's something that I do not enjoy to do. I just do not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I say, if I'm gonna spend my time 2 4 hours creating a website or a landing page or something, and you can do it in an hour, what can I do as a coach? How much money am I losing by not coaching for those 3 or 4 hours? And I think we need to see it that way, right? So how do you help women save money or grow their money?
The main thing I do, it's most like an investment because it's mainly letting them. I'll take over. So whenever they come to me, like I want to do this logo and branding, so I usually create like three phases of projects. I usually start. Let's just start with your logo. That's the first thing that you need because you're gonna need it for social media, for your Google My Business page, for everything. So I know way it's an investment in how to start creating something small that I keep growing. So I take that time from you so you can concentrate on getting more clients, getting out there, meeting new stuff. So in a way, I kind of like develop this whole like almost like a to-do list. I'll take over this to list of 10 things that you need to do. I'm gonna do 8 of them. All you have to do is give me the information. I'll produce it for you. No way that I put it online and social media and different outlets and directories. Directories are free, and that's something that we really need to take advantage of. It's something that you can just put like even to be yellow pages, Yelp, white pages, especially there's a lot of directories for specific services like coaching services, restaurants. All of those directories are free and you don't have to pay for anything. And I take that away time from you. You can concentrate on that while you add all your information on those directories so you can appear more online. So there's different ways that we can do it without spending too much.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually have a client right now. She's a business client, and she said to me that her business really grew when she had the Google My Business page, and she had multiple addresses. She said she had multiple locations, and she was able to now capture two different audiences. And
Mhm.
so these tricks that you would know, I didn't know that, right? Like so simple as you saying that me hiring one client, I already paid for your services,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And so we need to see it as business owners as hiring people in their expertise as an investment, but also spending time doing what I actually enjoy to do best.
Exactly. And I think that's when we work together because just like you said, as you were growing, we started just with women focus and one niche. But as you start working throughout the couple of years, you realize, you know what, it's not only women, it's business owners. So you start growing and that's where I come in. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board, like strategize. Okay, let's start dividing the pages. How can we get the information better, faster, and easier for people to understand what you're doing? And I found a lot of clients come to that point like I have a hard time explaining what I do. I don't know how to tell it within 10 seconds, within a minute when they land to my page. We need to be more focused on what you're doing. And that's where I come in. Okay, let's clean this up. Let's organize our ideas. And how can we get the message right away? Right now, if you don't get your message within the first minute on a video and in a reel, like 10 seconds reel, people are gonna lose and they're gonna move on to the next one. So we need to stay focused, be clear, and send out the right message so you can get your customers and attract them easier instead of like try to like figure out what you do. So I think, and that's my job to help you get the message out there.
Yeah. Thank you, Fernanda. Is there anything that you, before we move on, is there anything that you want to leave the clients or that woman that's like, man, I want to start my business, but I don't have money, or I can't afford your service? I get that a lot, right? Oh, I can't
Mhm.
afford your coaching service. I can't afford it. Yes, you can, right? Like I always tell them, I help you budget for it.
Mhm.
I help you budget for if you want to start a business and you want to have that website.
Mhm.
What is a piece of advice or something that you want to leave our audience today?
The main thing I wanted to on them to understand, especially women, that we need to set up ourselves like professional. Like you need to, even if it's a small business, even if you just sell cupcakes, even if you always have to have that vision in the long run, you have to have that ability to see it yourself. How are we gonna see it in 1 year, 10 years? It could be just a tiny logo right now, but eventually you're gonna put the logo on your stickers for your cupcakes, and eventually it's gonna turn into cakes, and eventually that's gonna turn into an online business. So just if you had that idea that if you start something small, seeing yourself like you're an actual business. Even when I started my own business, I get my own business cards, and even though I'm a designer, that's what I do. But that feeling that I was ownership, that it was like a more like ownership. This is a business. This is a real thing. It's just starting, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna get there. So get into that mindset really to really understand that you are an enterprise. You're gonna grow eventually. You have the tools. All you need is just somewhere to start. Just get started. Honestly, if you have an idea, just get it on, put it on a to-do list and say, this week I'm going to work on what I'm going to sell. Maybe next week I work on my services, but at least you have somewhere to start. Just get started. I mean, and come up with a name, and eventually you start. A lot of companies keep polishing their services. So don't worry about getting it right. Just get it done. That's all.
And you know what? You said it, and it is true. I remember when you emailed me the logo, the VWB logo, and I felt official. Like I felt like, wait, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. And it also
Mhm.
built my confidence when I was out there, when I went to my first networking event, to have my cards with me, right? That, like you said, it's that feeling that just made it, that it was solid. Like, this is who I am.
Exactly. And you feel like really empowered too, because it's not something in your own. This is my own idea. This is my own creation. And it could be just me. I mean, in my case, it could be just me. I mean, obviously, I work with a lot of vendors, and the one that does the printing, the installation, the production, all that stuff. But at the end, it's me behind it. So it's also give us like ownership. Like, this is me, and something to represent me. Even if you put it on your t shirt, it's just one t shirt that you have, but it's a company, it's you.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's really powerful for women.
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you. I think that was great advice. Well, Fernanda, if anyone in our audience, any women want to reach out to you, how can they connect with you?
There's three ways. So they can email me at at mfgdesignlab.com, my website, mfgdesignlab.com. And in my website, you will see links to other current website I'm working on. So you can see current jobs, or my cell phone, 773-504-0419. I'm always there. So I love to, and I love working with women. I think that's one of the biggest things that I really like, because I can see myself in them when I started, and then as I'm growing, because we keep growing together. I also learn a lot from my clients. I get new ideas from them all the time. So that's a way to keep expanding and create a nice network of women so we can empower each other.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Fernanda. Thank you for throwing all those gems, because you threw out the directory that I'm like, oh, I don't think I've done that. And like just some gems that you threw along the way. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're also a mom and you're busy, and you're the wife of an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. So, that's how we relate. But thank you so much for your gems today. And yeah, just thanks for being with us.
No, thank you, Michelle. It's always great talking to you. I mean, it's not a meeting, you and I. It's always fun. So this is a great time. Thank you.
It's always a great time. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.